Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is the Hebrew Jamaican Coolie back again with another video, and this is going to be a very personal video that hits very close to home, and it's going to hit very close to home because I know that there are family members that actually watch my channel and don't agree with certain things that I have said about certain figures in my life. And when I say certain figures, I'm talking about parental figures, because I look out against my father a lot, and more time I look out against my mother too. You see me? So, anywho, what happened is that now my sister was in Facebook and she put up a post with this other man. And this man, basically, she said in her post, "You have been a real father to me." So when we look at the picture now, is a very old guy, looks nothing like our father, and immediately our myself and another family member knew exactly who that post was licking out against. So I said so boom. And me write like a comment, and I say, who that? Who that? And one of our relatives said, that sure don't look like Mr. Doctor, you know, which is the name of our father. So anyway, she answered me. She replied to my comment and she said, "Don't you remember this guy? He is the guy, the garbage man named Teddy, that used to come around and was very friendly and was very polite and very courteous," which is actually true. Teddy was a very courteous garbage man. Very, very courteous and thing. So I basically, like, at the end of the post, she said, "He's been a real father to me all these years." And you see, it goes back to what I've been saying so many times about the generation that came before us. They instilled a lot of hurt, pain, and trauma into us as Jamaicans. And I don't know if a lot of you people don't know the channel Politics Watch. I'm a huge fan of that channel, because everything that channel has been talking about recently is what a lot of us have been talking about for many, many years. And a lot of us have been silent for many, many years, but we're now fed up, and a lot of us are voicing our opinions on these things. The problems in Jamaica, the problems with this whole lying, and anyway. Now, it's very disheartening that a daughter would look at somebody who's not even remotely close or closely related to her and say that this man has been a father to me my entire life. My sister is 3 years younger than me, so she's basically 38 years old, because I'm going to be 41. For 38 years old, she's going to say that a man that basically comes around and only picks up her garbage has been more of a father to her than her own biological father. And that is saying a lot. Now, before a lot of you misunderstand what I'm saying, I want you to understand this. I don't look down on anybody's job. Everybody know that I'm a very humble person. And I'm humble because I always say this. It can happen to me, and I pray that it does not happen to me. I don't look down upon it. And many times too, here in the US, I've said to my wife, garbage men make basically $800 to $1,000 a week with benefits. And I'd love to be making that type of money. I'd love. Many times I've told my wife, say, yo, I have no shame when it comes to work. No shame. As long as it puts food on the table, clothes over them back, shelter over them head, lighting at them eyes, internet on them tablet and them phone, I have no shame in the work that I do, as long as it's legal and as long as it's providing what it needs to provide. We tend to look down on a lot of men that work these jobs, these blue-collar jobs. But at the end of the day, let me tell you people something. If your garbage man doesn't pick up your garbage, your house is going to stink and be filled with rodents and maggots. And that's going to cause it to stink even more. Alright? And these things, especially maggots, they tend to eat human flesh. They tend to be able to eat flesh. They burrow deep down into flesh, and then flies come and plant more eggs, and they born in your flesh, and them yam out your flesh as they make them way to the surface, and them just restart the cycle over and over and over again. Alright? So let me tell you something. I don't look down on no garbage man. I don't look down on no sewer worker. I don't look down on no janitor or custodian. I don't look down on no maid. Because at the end of the day, if you are making bank and you're living comfortably, what shame is there in that? I don't care what a woman going to think. If this is not for you, then you can go along and find the guy that is for you. And that's what I've always told a lot of women. I'm not going to change who I am to please you. Either you come down to where I am, or you go find the guy that you claim is on your level. You understand? I'm not into running down nobody or pleasing nobody. If I don't have it, I just don't have it. But that's besides the point right now. The point I'm trying to make is this. It's very shameful that my sister, and I mean shameful for my father, that my sister would be able to say that somebody that comes around, and I think Teddy only came around like once or twice a week, and maybe she kept in contact with him after that. It's a shame that your daughter would be able to say that this man became more of a father than you've ever been to her. It's a shame that she's able to say that. It's a shame that she's able to say that. You understand? It may hurt feelings, but it's a shame that she's able to say that another man is more of a father than her own literal father is. You understand? So, by knowing our own history, how we grew up, I don't wrong my sister for saying that. I don't. Because I know the truth. I don't wrong her for saying that. She's not lying. She's not lying. And each of us in life have found mentors or mentors that have basically affected our lives very positively. Very positively. You understand? So that we don't go down the wrong path. For me, it was my uncle here in the States who was guiding me many times. I used to call him about girl problems I had. I used to call him about temper problems I had. And many times when my mother couldn't control me, this was the man they called to talk to me. And the man has never spoken to me in a manner which was inhumane or made me feel that I wasn't worth less than a human being. You understand? He would tell me I am wrong and that I can't carry on like that. But he has never spoken to me in a manner that was inhumane or made me to feel like I was worthless as a person. In my book, my fictional book that I wrote, I have a character in the book, and the character faced all of the problems that I faced. The character heard every single thing from his father that I heard from my father. You know, and the character felt every single sad note that I felt in my life. Now, I wasn't able to put everything down, but I'm sure that a lot of my friends who will eventually read the book when I'm done with it, if I ever get to finish it, will know that that character is a personification of who I am. Anyway, aside from that, the Most High also was my biggest positive change that caused me to basically straighten out my life and live a certain way. The Bible caused me to live with principle from the age of 14, which when I was baptized. I did my best to follow the word as best as I could and live up to the principles of the word, which is why I didn't lose my virginity until I was 20 years old. 20 years old. By that time, you know, let me tell you something. When I was going to church with my friends, during that time, a lot of the young girls were just like flinging it up and a gateway to everybody. Everybody there get it. But even when it came to it being my turn, where friends I say, yo, that girl they want get to you and my you take it. And I was like, nah, my youth, me I hold it off till my married virgin. Just chill. And there was only one friend that pressured me to do it before marriage. Everybody else respected the fact that I wanted to wait. Ever since I was 14, everybody respected the fact that I wanted to wait until I was married. Did I end up getting married and then giving it away? Nope. I fell in love at the age of 20 and I committed idolatry, which is why the Most High tore me down and tore the image of that girl down before me, and it psychologically messed me up about women. And even along the way, along that path that I went downward, in a downward spiral of depression and suicidal thoughts, that man, that uncle, was always there. He was always very supportive. He was always talking to me. Even though my father too, my father actually, he basically, I've never seen my father do what he did when I became depressed. So it was kind of a shocker, and it made me very affectionate towards my father, that he basically took charge in my life and said, you know, you're going to start walk with me for a little bit, because you can't allow these type of things to basically cause you to end your life. You know, and I respected my father for that. I respected my father for that. You know, I respected my, I love my father. I've always loved my father. I've always loved the man. Even though I've gone through so much with the man, I have a lot of love for that man. I love that man. You understand? Even though I've gone through a lot with the man, I have a lot of love for him. Is it that I want approval? Want him to approve my life? I don't know. I honestly could not tell you, because even though I'm thinking about it right now, I don't think I want his approval of my life, because I basically lived my life without him. I've come out great. I have a family, and I live my family differently than how he lived his family. You know, and I'm trying to live differently from him in every facet of life as well. So no, I don't want him to approve my life, but I do want him to admit that what he did to us was wrong. I do want it. I think some sort of reconciliation from all of us a lot of us would feel a whole lot better if he was sincere in apologizing to us and being remorseful for what he put us through. A lot of us would. A lot of us would feel that way. You know? But from what I'm hearing, with the things that he's going on with, and you know, that's not gonna come anytime soon. I don't think he's remorseful, and I don't think he regrets. And even if he did, that generation has a hard time in apologizing to us. I don't have any problem apologizing to my son if I wrong him. If I wrong my son, he needs to know that I was wrong. And he needs to know that I can do stuff wrong, and that I can be man enough to apologize to him for what I've done wrong. You know, I don't care what people say, man. My son needs to know that I love him. He does. He needs to know that I love him. There are strong ways to love your son. There's strong ways to show your son that you love him. I hug my son like every single second. My son is getting hugs and kisses. I know that when he reaches a certain age, the hugs going to turn into something different. Maybe, maybe not. I'm sure as hell not gonna kiss him when he gets to a certain age. But I love my sons. I love them deeply. I love my first son, Kermani Jr. I love my second son, Yaakov Israel Doctor. And I love Benjamin. I love them. I love my daughter as well. She's actually my favorite child. But I love my boys. And I know that they need the attention that I believe I did not get while growing up from either father or mother. So this is why I do my best to spend time with them, doing my best not to always get frustrated with them, doing my best not to always yell at them, doing my best not to always punish them. I try to find different ways. And yes, it's not perfect. It doesn't always work out. But I cannot and do not want to be the generation that was before me, because I don't see anything to look up to with that generation. I don't see anything to look up to. Like every time I look at the generation and those men, it don't make me feel good about what I see behind me, and that I want to create something better to see in front of me, so that when I leave it knowing that I left something better in front of me, better than what I saw behind me. And I want the same from my son to his son, that what he sees was something good, and then he's going to create something better in front of himself for his son, and so on and so forth, and yada yada yada. I just thought it was kind of painful. I know it was kind of painful for her to say that. And she's not even the first girl or woman I've heard say that this another man has been more of a father to them than their own biological father. She's not the first. I've heard several women say that. I've had several women say that to me, that certain men in their lives have been more of a father figure, more of a nurturing, nourishing figure, more of a building character figure, more of a leadership figure, more of a teaching figure to them than the person whose body they came out of. Anyway, people, chop it up in the comment section. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear it. This is the Hebrew Jamaican Coolie. I'm heading home. Peace. I am Auticus.